Today, we talk about
what it do, folks?
Hey!
What are those? These be the Adidas NMD R1 PKs for PrimeNet. Got them. We will discuss that shortly, but I've just given y'all the fee. This by far the best ever colorway of the NMD. Revisiting the NMD, folks. Y'all asking for what's a comfy sneaker for hospital workers. This is definitely one of the top candidates.
So scared.
Bob. All right, so first and foremost, no insole, which a lot of people had some issues with, but as you can see written there, boost, baby, boost. It's all about the boost. So not as much boost as the Ultra Boost, which a lot of people tend to favor as the most comfortable shoe ever, but I have some qualms with that. But a lot of that has to do with which iteration of the Ultra Boost you is using. So 1.0s I don't think are as comfortable as far as the upper goes compared to an NMD. I mean, not that it's a fair comparison, but as you can see here, the Ultra Boost 2019 compared to a 2016 NMD Boost. Clearly much less boost. And obviously the 2019 boasts, I think they said 20% more boost, but you could clearly see even between the 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and this being technically the 5.0, but I guess technically the 2.0, if you want to consider this the new Ultra Boost, because it's been completely retooled, you can clearly see how much more boost compared to the other model. I mean, bro, these are even the same size. Oh, hilarious. Or actually, no, I forgot to mention, I went with my Ultra Boost 1.0 size in these, which is a 12, I think. Yep. And for these, I went at 10.5. So I'm a true size 11 in most Nikes, since they tend to get their sizing pretty consistent, whereas Adidas is just all over the board. So with Adidas, I'm all over the place. NMDs and the PKs, I heard the mesh, you got to go true to size, but the PKs, I went a half size down, which fits perfectly. And then compare that to a size 12, which is literally a full size up from this dish. And clearly it's going to have less boost from that standpoint, I suppose. But yeah, man, it's just much less boost, which again is not a huge deal. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all just a marketing thing for the big picture, but it is comfy. We can definitely appreciate a lot less boost. Now, obviously with this updated model, way more comfortable PrimeNet, I would say, compared to this, especially because the sizing is appropriate. But yeah, man, this is, can't go wrong with the NMD, I'm just saying. So the reason this is a PrimeNet is because the collar is such. So you see how stretchy the ish is, very stretchy, very flimsy. Compare that to the mesh NMDs, which are cheaper, and even on resale for even the more hyped ones, they tend to be a lot cheaper. With the exception of like the Bape one, for example, or other ones. But in general, what you want to stay away from those mesh ones. You want to stick to the PKs. Very comfortable upper. As you can see, very stretchable. Not a lot of form to it. Not a lot of
structure.
Billboard trigger. Yeah, very out there silhouette when it first came out at the very tail end of 2016 and pretty much dominated all of 2017, let's be honest. This was the very first colorway, and this was the very first release of that. They did re-release these later on, I think in late 2017, early 2018, something like that. But it came with a different box. So this is the OG, and I had no idea it was going to re-release. The sneaker itself was unchanged, if I'm not mistaken, at least overall. So I'm kind of tight about that because they came out much cheaper the second time around. Adidas tends to do that, which is kind of pissing me off. The NMD lost a lot of hype over time because they released a ton of colorways and they just kept coming out and kept coming out and kept coming out. There's a lot of really nice ones actually, but a lot of duds as well. But hey, it is what it is. You see the 3-stripe pattern there. There was another OG colorway that came out that was a white upper, but man, oh man, that one got dirty dumb quick. As you can see, this one clearly a bit dirty, but thankfully because of the black upper, you can't even tell, so it ages much better. And in addition to that, compared to the actual white colorway, bop, you can see just doesn't look as good. The contrast of the black with the white, with the red and the blue, much better than white on white with red and blue, in my opinion. Now, while the while the Boost sole may not be as comfy or as comfortable feeling to some folks as the Ultra Boost, I personally can't tell a difference. I can only minimally start to tell the difference because I've been wearing it for so long, along with Ultra Boost. But to be honest with you, this upper is so comfy, it makes up for it in droves. So I would highly recommend any hospital workers looking for a comfy pair of shoes. You could probably find a decent colorway of these, especially now that the resale market isn't too keen on these. And I'm not even sure if they still sell them in retail stores for le cheap. Probably even like an Adidas outlet, you could probably find a few of these models, even some of the PrimeKnit models. Again, PrimeKnit's gonna look like this, and the non-PrimeKnits, the mesh version is gonna look like this, bop. So the collar is what's the main giveaway. So you wanna compare the collars. But if you just ask any employee or just look at the description of the shoe, as long as it says PK PrimeKnit, it's gonna get you that nice plush. That's what you want. So yeah, man, a lot of the NMDs are actually pretty comfortable. I've got another pair right here, actually. But this being the Pharrell NMD joints. These have been a friggin' hit this trip, my guy. These have been so popular with the folks, and they're just gorgeous. You can see the PrimeKnit there, much more sturdy PrimeKnit, much more sturdy sole. Very beautiful shoe, hence why I had to get them. Yeah, that's a different style of NMD, as you can see, harkening back with the boost sole with the two Lego pieces and whatnot. But then you have the NMD R2. These being the R1, there was an R2. Also actually very comfortable, a lot more boost. Just didn't look as pretty in my opinion, and won't age as well as the original, obviously. In addition, you had the NMD XR1, which I have a pair of. I probably should do like a whole NMD collection video. That's probably what I'll do. So I'm not gonna bore you with the entire history of NMD, but just to revisit this classic shoe. This aged so well. I thought this thing was hideous when I first saw images of it, but over time, this thing really aged on me. Or I'm sorry, this thing really grew on me. And the story of the NMD, which a lot of people suggested, and it's never been truly confirmed, but it was a code name given to the project, but it really originated from the idea of Adidas Nomad. This being a purely lifestyle product, not meant for performance, clearly with its lack of stability. So I wouldn't recommend doing hardcore-ish in this, but for, again, hospital workers, casually walking around, standing around for many hours a day doing procedures or whatnot, highly would recommend this shoe. Top notch. In case I didn't give y'all a good look at this sole, there you go. There's some more exposed boost, exposed. But yeah, man, hopefully that answers some questions for you. I actually saw one of the other anesthesiologists the other day wearing a pair of these. The mesh version, to be honest with you, is not a very hype colorway, but it is what it is.
It ain't all but the hype.
Is there anything else to this? Oof, nothing comes to mind. I've had a long day, a long couple weeks at work. Can't wait to get back to New York, baby. We're about to F-ish up. But anyway, that'll do it, folks. The Adidas NMD R1 PK in the OG colorway. Let me know if you have questions, any further comments, and otherwise we'll see you on the next one. Oh, we out. Peace.